Sustainable living entails addressing our needs without endangering the capacity of future generations to address theirs. Tracking sustainability metrics and identifying potential areas for improvement are important parts of maintaining an effective sustainable process. We care about climate change in addition to supporting sustainable business practices. Additionally, sustained results may occasionally improve when a project team is in total agreement. It is unfortunate that not all members of the larger construction industry support sustainable concepts. The perception that sustainability has a negative impact on some people's aesthetic preferences is just one of many barriers that prevent sustainability from being fully achieved. It is insufficient. An updated standard operating procedure is required. The profession needs to undergo a radical transformation in order to deliver a sustainable future in line with the appropriate response to the climate challenges, and the RIBA 2030 Climate Challenge is an essential first step. All of the major recommendations from the Commission were approved in June 2019, and a climate and ecological emergency was declared by the RIBA Council. An independent advisory body created to help uphold its commitment to the UN Global Compact and the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals. A guide defines a succinct measurable set of core sustainable outcomes and associated metrics that correspond to significant UN SDGs to help implement these recommendations. The Social Value Act of 2012 was never intended to apply to the architectural design of buildings and public spaces. However, the provisions of the Act that deal with government procurement do indirectly affect how development benefits society. The need for architects to demonstrate social value on their projects in public procurement is becoming more and more common. Despite the fact that the focus until now has been primarily on the development process, on things like job opportunities created during construction. However, it is important to pay more attention to how particular design decisions will ultimately impact people's well-being. In general, social value hasn't historically been considered a measure of project development or a return on real estate investment. It might make a big difference if it were better understood. Instead, during planning discussions and development decisions, the focus has been on economic viability, which hasn't always produced long-lasting quality or sustainable wider societal benefits. The justification for using Section 106 funds to mitigate the negative impacts of development seems rather simplistic. However, neither the individuals who ultimately foot the bill for construction projects, nor developers, or their consultants, make a significant assessment of the long-term benefits, or lack thereof, of development. To effectively and predictably address these urgent societal issues, those who work in the built environment must therefore up their game. Social value, which emphasizes the overall social, environmental, and economic benefits to society, is allegedly much more extensive than a location's social capital, according to the RIBA sourcebook. The Social Value Toolkit, SVT, for architecture was created to make it easy to illustrate and assess how design affects people and communities. Public policy, procurement, and the evaluation of bids and tenders are all taking advantage of these findings of positive social value effects. A practical understanding of the need to quantitatively demonstrate value in a culture of significant performance targets and metrics underpins the SVT. To record and better comprehend how design affects well-being, the architectural community still has a lot of work to do. Architects are becoming more and more aware of how important it is to both quantitatively and qualitatively demonstrate social value. Social value has gained more traction as a requirement for contracts, planning, and procurement in the public sector since the Social Value Act 2012 was passed in England. Architects now have a great opportunity to highlight the importance of their work, because social value is now a priority for policy. Construction companies have long been concerned with the social value that their projects and supply chains bring to society. Engineering and construction firms seem to frequently benefit from the way social value is expressed in bids. The time for architects to comprehend and talk about how their design and specification choices affect the life cycle of social value has long since passed. Generally speaking, design value is understood to be the sum of environmental value, economic value, and social value, which is known as the triple bottom line of sustainability. The method suggested in the H.M. Treasury Green Book, UK Government, 2018, guidance, describes how the UK government assesses cost-benefit trade-offs throughout appraisal and evaluation processes, are based on these. Even though operational energy and embodied carbon are frequently used to express environmental value, with the addition of biodiversity and air quality on occasion, the measurement of social value necessitates a precise definition. The National Themes, Outcomes and Measures (TOMS) framework, which local governments are using more frequently for procurement, has a real estate plugin, is one of the current systems used for capturing social value. The Building Research Establishment created a procurement tool that incorporates multiple measures of value, including social value, as part of the Construction Industry Council's Procuring for Value initiative. Perhaps it would be better for architecture to create its own tool than have one imposed, or even worse, for the industry to be completely shut out of the conversation due to a lack of leadership in this area. In conclusion, additional concepts will be hosted by Consumer Trading Organization Limited.